I want to get into that
Um,
story. How did you become an astrophysicist and start working for NASA?
in well, the whole going to the moon thing and joining the military. Um, I was on Mauna Kea, just with the guys in Kukia Imauna, right? Protecting Mauna Kea from more development from the 30-meter
And
telescope.
this is before the big 2019 one.
Hey,
This is
this
before
is
that, yeah.
so 2015 we were living at Hale Pohaku
Mm-hmm.
in the Hale. And it was high and we didn't have the event like we had it now, but it was freezing, it was cold, and we were just in the back. And I was just telling the guys like, what is the telescopes for? Right? Who owns the telescopes? How come I cannot own them? And we were just having conversations of what is a telescope? Do you know what it is?
You just look at it and you see far.
It's just a camera. We got cameras right here. It's just a huge camera,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's what I learned. And then I learned that the people who do the science are called astrophysicists. And before I learned the title, I always wanted to be, I never knew that that's what it was. I was studying the moon, but I didn't know it was physicist. And then I just had an idea like, nah, bruh, I was in grad school for psychology. I just got my degree on Oahu. And I told myself, I'm smart enough to do this. I'm not dumb. I grew up speaking a different language and I can. And if the telescopes are built for these people called astronomers and astrophysicists to use, then I got to become that so I can tell you if we need this thing or not.
Mm.
Remember, we was talking about God earlier and
Off the podcast.
yeah, off the podcast and how do I feel about spirituality and God and being a scientist and part of it was to go look for God,
Mm.
to go look for signs of Akua. Um, and so, yeah, if you want to see my work in astrophysics, just go and Google
Mhm.
Gemini telescope, Project Scabs. I was a Python programmer, and my job on the team was when they took a picture, they gave me a file. I just analyzed every pixel, and I was a person that coded the program to look at the picture and find stuff.
Mm.
And I was able to look at the baryonic structures of this star group, Centaurus A and B. It's just huge star groups, and yeah, it's actually not really that hard if you don't mind being alone, you don't mind hard work by yourself, and
Just drink coffee by
yeah, just
yourself.
drink coffee and it really is drink coffee and just be really interested in what you're trying to do.
Mm.
And at the end of it, I came out with I didn't know I was going to be discovering things. I just knew I was smart enough to do it. And after 3 years in the program at Manoa, I was offered an internship to go work at Gemini as a scientist in the back. I took it, and that was the same year as Kukia Imauna. So when everybody's standing on top of the road to Mauna Kea, I woke up with my family on Mauna Kea in the camps. I woke up every morning, jumped in my car, and I drove down to Gemini. And I had to work at the telescope the same time we was getting arrested. And when my grandma and my dad and my aunties and uncles was getting arrested, I was right there. And I never made it into work. And it was so trippy because I realized that I didn't call in sick. This is an actual career, like a dream career for most people working at Gemini as a scientist. And here I am. I have this opportunity to do this 3 years into astrophysics at Manoa. And I'm standing in the middle of the road at Mauna Kea with my family saying no to TMT.
Mm.
In the astronomy community, this is the most powerful thing. And here I am just straight up telling people no.
Because no matter how much you love telescope, space, or science, you stand with your people.
What my dad said. What did my dad say?
Your kuleana is
My
to
kuleana.
your ohana.
What was I born for?
Ohana.
Not to do what I wanted, right? So my dad
Oh,
said, "You're
that's
born for
heavy.
kuleana." Okay? But Dad, they hired me. I'm the smartest person they have right now. Your kuleana is first. That's why we had you. If you're not good, malama, awama your kuleana, leave. Hele. That's what my dad, And so it's really it was really amazing, actually. I get hated on by a lot of people on both sides, but the kuleana that comes with the leadership, right? This is a leadership position where I take as an astrophysicist, scientist, and that's why we build the telescopes. And I'm telling you that maybe we don't need them.
Mm.
Maybe the discoveries that we're making right now, and this is going back to astronomy, astrophysics, and telescopes. Maybe the discoveries that we're making doesn't help us with our human experience. The fear that I have every day of life ending is what makes me go find it. But when I get there and I look, that stuff that I see makes me turn around and go back to pray.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? Like for real,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody asks me, how is God real in your mind if you are a scientist looking through the telescope? And what are the evidence you have? I go, how come you cannot just trust the scientists when I say that I got to the top? And when I look through the telescopes out into the deep depths of space, what I feel is turn this thing off and go back and pray.
Mm.
And it's crazy. And that's crazy that I felt that. I never felt that in my life until I was on Mauna Kea doing the discoveries, and I'm asking and I'm praying every day, what is this good for? What is this astrophysics good for? What is it good for? What is it good for?
Absolutely not. Were you baiting me with the
No,
song?
I was really asking a question, right? Like,
I couldn't not do it.
right? Because and this is for you.
Mm.
What is astrophysics good for you? What is a telescope? What does it do for you? I know what it does for me.
I would say, I mean, based on what I hear, I guess it helps with the future. Like you can see stuff through that will help in the future somehow. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's basically the very
So
surface
it's kind of like a
level knowledge.
self-fulfilling prophecy,
Yeah.
right? Because we create all these new things to do the astronomy, and then all the creations we make, we build our future using, like the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is a phone really making our lives better? No. Is any of this really making our lives better? I really don't think so.
I think convenience is the answer,
Convenience,
not
right?
better.
And are we having a deeper spiritual experience as humans? Would you say it? And I always put it that way because growing up culturally with Olelo Hawaii, I had this identity. You have it too. Maybe you don't know about it, but it's why you're sitting there and I'm sitting here and everybody else is sitting not in these seats with the mic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this identity, even though we feel like we lack, it helped push us to go find different things to
Mm-hmm.
add to our toolbox to help us become who we needed to be.